What's up guys, Renasant here, welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, we are back at the grave of Sir Artorias, where we fought Sif earlier in the previous episode. We've also changed up our equipment and I have done a lot of leveling. Way over level 132. Again, the reason I'm doing this is to be able to wear more armor and to be able to use different weapons. So I got my endurance up to 40. You see my vitality I haven't touched in a while. My vitality is my endurance is 40, strength and dex are at 37, and I got faith up to 30 and int up to 25, and we'll see why in a little bit. But we're using the Murakumo plus 10, the Hollow Thief's Hood, the Shadow Garb, the Gauntlets of Favor, and the Silver Knight leggings. I think we look like a badass, like Ninja Gaiden kind of thing, like, I don't know, Ninja Warrior thing. The reason we're back at Artorias' grave, actually, though, is because I forgot to pick up a certain item behind the gravestone. The Hornet Ring. Very important ring, mainly to completing this set. So you see we have all four of the rings of the Four Knights of Gwyn. The Hornet Ring, which is one of the special rings granted to the Four Knights of Gwyn. The Hornet Ring belonged to Lord's Blade Kieran. By boosting critical attacks, its wearer can annihilate foes, as Kieran's dagger laid waste to Lord Gwyn's enemies. So yes, it does extra critical attack damage. So riposte and backstabs, it will do extra damage. And you see we have all four of them now. So Leo Ring, which belonged to Dragonslayer Ornstein. The Wolf Ring, which belonged to Artorias, Hawk Ring of Hawkeye Goff, and Hornet Ring of Lord's Blade Kieran. But that's all we're doing here. What we really want to do in this episode, or to start doing, I guess you could say, is not talk to Andre, because he's a fatty. We really want to start on some of the Lord Souls quest lines, I guess you'd say. And the first one we are going to do, I believe, is going to be the Four Kings of New Londo. So these guys, remember, we have actually been to New Londo. It's a giant flooded city. Actually, we don't want that. We want... Let me repair all this. Everything needs to be repaired. Attune magic. We are going to attune Power Within, and then I guess we can attune Combustion, maybe? Doesn't really matter. We'll tune Fire Orb. Doesn't matter. We're using this Pyromancy anyway, so. So yeah, New Londo Ruins. Of course, like I said, we have been to New Londo before, if only temporarily. But you can actually access this entire area for the most part before the beginning of the game, really, or during the beginning of the game. Now, in order to advance to like certain areas of New Londo, you will have to have the Lord Vessel, but other than that, pretty well good to go. We also want to equip some Transient Curses, which Transient Curses is the limb of the victim of a curse. So yeah, it's actually like a person's hand, I guess. Temporary curse allows engagement with ghosts. The only way to fight back against ghosts, who are cursed beings, is to become cursed oneself. The safest method, however dreadful, is to cut off an arm of the dead. So we are going to be using Transient Curses. God, I love this Murakumo. Now, I don't think we've been down here since we've came back from Anor Londo. So there's actually an interesting little NPC interaction down here. Before we do that, though, I just want to show you this, because this is probably something a lot of people have missed. There's actually a blacksmith down here in New Londo. And they set it up to where if you're just walking along here, you just come down here, you're like, oh, this is just a dead end. Hello.
Well, this is unusual. You haven't lost your head. And more importantly, you're free. How on earth? Well, I shouldn't pry. I'm Rickett Vinheim. I was once an established smith. Look at me now. Can you believe it?
One of the coolest things I've always found about this NPC, about Rickard, is the echo in his voice. It's just really interesting. Now you can see he's wearing sorcerer gear, and he's also, I mean, he's just said he's from Vinheim. So you can imagine what this guy, as far as blacksmithing goes, what he will be able to do to our weapons.
What is it? Have you? Oh no. Don't worry. No intention of escape. It's safe here. Can't bear the thought of going hollow out there. Although, I must admit, not much to occupy myself. How about this? I could forge your weapons, albeit with rather minimal tools. I'll show you what may be the best in Vinheim.
So the problem with that is we don't actually have an ember to give them, so we can't really do that right now. But you can see we can go ahead and infuse things into magic. So Flamberge will turn into a magic Flamberge, and so on and so forth.
What is it? There's nothing. We're both cursed, undead. But what's there really to moan about? Old Big Hand. Of course I've heard of it. Who hasn't in Vinheim? He was a royal member of Dragon School until he turned undead. I hear he was quite the character. Only that was 100 years ago. What interest have you in the old eccentric now? Sorcery? Don't ask me how it actually works. We only fiddle and forge until it works itself in. That's how we do it in Vinheim. We prefer to leave the theorizing to those uppity scholars. What is it? There's nothing. We're both cursed.
So he knows of Big Hat Logan, who is also a Vinheim person. However, he's a Vinheim scholar, whereas Rickard is more of a Vinheim blacksmith. Well, he's literally a Vinheim blacksmith. But we'll learn more about Big Hat Logan later. There's a lot going on with him. You'll notice as we walk around over here, well, there we go. Somebody starts charging us. And if you don't recognize who this is the crestfallen knight from Firelink Shrine. He effectively, when we rang the bells of awakening, just came down here and went hollow. Lost his mind. You can even see it in his eyes. Sad thing is, he doesn't really provide any benefit. And he's kind of squishy. And he's looking a little rough there. Oh, R.I.P. Crestfallen. 1,000 souls, no humanity, no nothing. Kind of useless if I'm being honest. S-Doc. Very good weapon. One of my favorite weapons to use, actually. And I'm sure we will be using it at some point. I've leveled up a bunch of weapons here, guys. We're going to use a lot of different stuff, but the largest of the thrusting swords can pierce an armored knight in one thrust. The blade is also sharp, allowing slicing as well. Alright, so this is New Londo Ruins. One thing to note, if you don't already have transient curses before you come down here, this barrel right here will give you 2 of them. Also of note, you don't have to use transient curses. You can get cursed yourself from the basilisks in the depths. So if you want to do it that way, you're more than welcome to. I personally prefer to use transient curses because I don't like my HP bar being cut in half. So it's up to you though. But as we proceed here into New Londo, the ghosts will make themselves known. I've always liked these ghosts, honestly. They're really interesting enemies. And so first thing we want to do is come over here. And you can actually see an item over there. As you can see, you can walk on this little pathway. But as you do, be prepared for the ghosts. It's a nasty little ambush. One thing interesting about these ghosts is they can just apparate through surfaces and whatnot, so something to be wary of. Here's a Firekeeper soul, our 3rd one of the game, not counting our Firekeeper. God, I love fast roll, guys. Ugh. And you can see this area is flooded, and as we've read throughout the, especially with the Crimson gear, I believe, the sealers sealed New Londo Ruins up they sealed it to stop the spread of the Abyss, basically. So they were afraid of the Abyss, rightfully so. And so in order to keep the Abyss from infecting, say, the Undeadburg area, the only way they knew how to do that, really, was to seal it up and, well, to flood it, for one, to flood New Londo, which, as you can see, they've clearly accomplished that. But not only flood it, but seal it too, which we will get into here in a few minutes once we get to that area. See, they can just go right through the air there. Jagged Ghost Blade, nice. So there's also, I forgot to mention, a couple of weapons in the game that can actually kill the ghosts without you having to be cursed. Typically, it's like godly weapons, if that makes sense. But there's, I mean, like I said, there is a couple of them. The Jagged Ghost Blade is also one. As you can see, it does 300 bleed. Violent thrust attacks. One of the cursed weapons inflicts damage to ghosts. Yeah, so it can hit ghosts. Any weapon that's considered cursed, I guess you could say, can hurt the ghosts. And really, people hate New Londo, and I've never understood why. It's very dark, so yes, it is kind of, in that regard, kind of hard to traverse the area, but even being as dark as it is, it's still a really well designed map in my opinion. And I don't know, like, you can just you can get the feel of the story that they're telling with it. We can't get to that chest just yet, by the way. So this is actually a new enemy. This is, yeah, you hear that scream. Some transient curses, some more transient curses. That is not a ghost. I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, this whole area, like I said, you could just get a sense for the dread, I guess. I didn't think that would hit, but shortcut ladder. Fiber. See, I love that they can just come through here. I don't love that I can't hit them. 500 damage. Them freaking... Oh, come on, man. Them pyromancies do work. See you down there. Yeah. Yeah, you can just get a sense of the despair. I mean, just look at this clearly dead city. Dead/dying city. Leave me be. See an item there, item there. Item here, item there, item everywhere. And this is what I would consider the actual city of New Londo right here, this main part. And there are a lot of freaking ghosts in this area. And the problem is... Oh, that's the problem. We aren't transient cursed anymore. Yeah, so if you don't have the transient curse on, or if you're not cursed or whatever, it's going to be very tough to kill these guys. Actually, it'll be impossible. Let's say this is not the ideal way to handle this, but... Alright, you know what, buddy? These ones that just phase through the freaking floor here. Ugh. All of y'all. Eat it. Jesus. Alright, so right off the rip, you can tell that this guy is clearly one of the sealers of New Londo. He's wearing all that crimson stuff. He's got a 10 banishment catalyst. Clearly one of the sealers of New Londo.
Well, this is a surprise. I get few visitors, save for ghosts. You have the Lord Vessel. Very impressive. I know exactly what your intentions are. You seek the 4 kings whom I guard over. This is the key to the seal.
Thanks, buddy.
The 4 kings slumber in the deepest chamber of the ruins. Use this key to break the seal and open the floodgates. Oh, and do not forget, the dark wraiths reside in a dark void called the Abyss. But the Abyss is no place for ordinary mortals. Although, long ago, the knight Artorias traversed the Abyss. If you can find him and learn from him, the Abyss may prove surmountable.
Alright, so a lot of information there. So, the key to the seal that he just gave us opens that gate right there. As you can see, that is outside. That is actually the Valley of the Drakes. So what's going to happen when we use the key to the seal to open those doors, all that flood water is going to wash out there. So like I said, when they tried to stop the spread of the Abyss, he specifically mentioned the Dark Wraiths. That's what I would refer to as the Abyss right now, despite the 4 kings being part of the Abyss as well. But they flooded the city to kill the Dark Wraiths. However, as we will soon discover, when we pop open that door, the Dark Wraiths are still very much alive. And Ingward, who, this is his name by the way, Ingward seems to know that, that the Dark Wraiths are still down there. another interesting point that he brought up was Artorias. He spoke of Artorias being someone who traversed the abyss and knows the abyss. We'll get more into that later, but that's not really entirely true. We actually have an enchanted ember. Interesting. Where is our key to the seal here? Key to the floodgates of New Londo, which seal away the four kings who fell to dark. The sealers flooded New Londo to banish the dark race and the four kings. The agonizing decision was made with the realization that countless lives and the robust culture of the city would be lost. The victims now roam the ruins as ghosts. So yes, those are all the ghosts that we're fighting.
Hello there. What is it? The key to the seal is now in your hands. I will help you in any way possible.
So Ingrid now, he will let you, if you're cursed, he'll let you break that curse. You can buy transient curses from him. You can buy the spell.
New Londo was sacrificed to contain the Dark Wraiths. Mark my words, the Dark Wraiths are the enemies of man and any living thing that has a soul. They were never meant to roam again. New Londo, mark.
Alright, so that's pretty much it for Ingrid. He doesn't really serve any additional benefit in the game. You can kill him if you'd like, honestly. He's kind of a nice dude, though, so most people probably don't end up killing him. I usually do, just because, like, he's there. So, why not, I guess. That sounds bad, but yeah, so he spoke more of the Dark Race, and again, we will definitely get into the Dark Race here in a little bit. This place just has this vibe to it, man, with the noises, the sounds. Oof. Truly spooky. Thanks for the Titanite buckwheat. So we don't really want to go in there. That's the way forward. And there's a couple items we want to grab before we proceed. Ghosty? No ghosty. See that item. So now we're on top of Ingrid's little area here. Rare Ring of Sacrifice. The Cursed Bite Ring. Really not a useful ring now. It's one of the infamous bite rings commissioned by Sir Astor of Kareem. Despite the dreadful rumors surrounding its creation, this ring is an unmistakable asset in its ability to prevent curses. I mean, that's great and all. The only time that would have really been useful was fighting the basilisks in the depths. So, unless you came to this area first, which is possible, of course, but unlikely, this ring probably won't serve you much benefit until much later in the game. But it will. There is a benefit of it at one point. So, Banshees, that's what those other ghosts are called. I don't know why I couldn't remember it, but yeah, they're called Banshees. Very useful item here. Composite bow. Love, love, love the composite bow. One of my favorite bows, hands down. composite bow emphasizing power requires more strength than standard bows. However, its range is shorter, making it unfit for sniping. I love how they specifically say sniping. Oh, hello, Dragon. So that is actually, I mean, you can kind of do the geography here. That is actually the seal. We're on top of the seal, the gate right now. So this is what will open up, as we will see in just a second. I just love taking in this area, man. It's one of my favorite areas. A lot of people poo-poo it, but I love this area. There's the key to the seal right there. Alright. So this is the gate right here. Let's open this bad boy up and unleash the floodwaters. Hello, Drakes. And you can actually see our first Dark Wraith. There's one over there. There's one right there. Along with all the Drakes here. So, now that the floodwater is subsided, we can actually pull this lever here. Be able to get down here. Now, many people like the fact that you can get to this area very quickly from Firelink Shrine. So, a quick Firelink Shrine bonfire, I guess you could say. I personally think that there is a quicker bonfire. And I will show you that. What we're going to do is just run past all these fine gentlemen here. We can. Yes, we picked up all the brigand gear there. As you can see, we are in the Valley of the Drakes now. And here we have an elevator. I don't think we've actually unlocked this bonfire yet, so I'll talk a little bit more later where this comes out at. We'll figure that out at a later date. But for now, let's go ahead and reverse hollowing. Go ahead and kindle this bad boy up. Now, you may be wondering why I am wearing the Covetous Gold Serpent Ring. That is because these Dark Wraiths that we're about to encounter have a extremely high chance, and by high I mean relative to anything else in the game, they have a high chance to drop Titanite chunks and a very small chance to drop Titanite slabs, which is what we need to max upgrade a lot of weapons. So I always recommend, if you're going to be coming through here fighting all these Dark Wraiths, to have the Gold Serpent Ring equipped. And again, these Drakes, guys, you can literally just run right past them here. And I don't know if we've actually gotten this up here. There's actually a ring up here, and I don't know if we've picked it up or not. great Valley of the Drakes view here. No, we have not. Okay, good. The red Tearstone ring. We already have a blue Tearstone ring, I believe. Yep. Rare gem called Tearstone has the uncanny ability to sense imminent death. This red Tearstone from Kareem boosts the attack of its wearer when in danger. So this probably won't work well, guys, but I'm going to try it anyway. Oh, well, worked better than I thought. Head up our stairs here, and our first Dark Wraith should be hanging out. Now these Dark Wraiths, guys, they are very easy to just backstab. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. And this is where you're going to want to do a lot of farming in the future. Not only for souls, because you can get a good bit of souls from this, but also for upgrade materials. Try not to fight them in that little corridor if you can. Boing, boing. You want to go ahead and draw these Dark Wraiths out before you proceed forward here. These Dark Wraiths, like I said, guys, they're not bad, but they're bad. Yeah, tighten that chunk. They're bad in groups. By themselves, they're not hard to kill at all. Oh, these guys. These guys are nasty. Nasty sludge monster things. Blech. 5,000 souls though. Those things actually do not respawn either. Hello. Crazy how much stamina that freaking kick took off, eh? Now the reason I came over this way is for a very important item, not this. Granted, I'll always take a humanity. Not this either. Probably one of the top 5 like most important items in the game up here, and God, I bet so many people miss it too, unfortunately. The very large ember. Huge ember of the highest quality. Ascension for plus 10 standard weapons to plus 15. So you can effectively with this max out any normal weapons. So weapons that don't use Twinkling Titanite or Demon Titanite, any of that stuff. You can now max them out. Very important you get that. I always like just looking around here. See the Dark Wraith chilling right there. I always think one of these is a illusory wall, but it never is. not going to go up the stairs quite yet. What a lovely position you're in there. So the reason you found, well, we found some cracked red eye orbs right there, because I haven't really talked about this, I don't think. So the Dark Race, that little attack they do where their hand glows red, also you can see this is where we started here. That's actually a life drain attack. So what that does, it effectively steals your humanity. So the premise of the Dark Race is effectively to steal humanity. That's what they do. You can see right here that there's a path. Should tell you this is an illusory wall that we just no comment. It gives me some time to talk anyway. Yeah, so the Dark Race, they steal humanity. Because they steal humanity, they need to, these red eye orbs, or these cracked red eye orbs, allow them to invade and pillage other humans' humanity, or other undead humanities. So that kind of explains why you find those in that area specifically. Yeah, we found the illusory wall and then just promptly dove right off. It's kind of good though, because honestly I want more Titanite chunks. Of a lot of level 10 weapons, I'd like to level up to level 15. But I mean, yeah, these Dark Wraiths, they're really not bad enemies. You really gotta just practice your parrying and practice your backstabbing, circling and backstabbing, and you'll be able to handle them in no time. And again, with these drakes, we can just meander on by them here. One thing to note with these drakes, you can actually farm them for dragon scales. So if you're trying to upgrade a dragon scale weapon, this I believe is the only area in the game where you can really farm for dragon scales. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Hey, y'all can't come up here. They try to, but Dark Hand, yes, that is exactly what I was wanting to drop. So it's actually classified as a shield, I believe. Well, they have it as a bow or something, I guess. Fist type weapon, okay. The Dark Race, incited by Koth, used the power of the Dark Soul to absorb humanity, an art shared by this weapon, which also acts as a special shield. The Ancients, particularly, could sap the humanity of even a replete saint in the blink of an eye. Yeah. Dark Hand, Life Drain, very useful skill, but as you can see, it's made them look kind of rough over the years. And this is the farming route, by the way, that you would want to take. Very easy to farm them. Man, I wish they were dropping some chunks there. Boing! God, I love those masks. You can get all their gear, but we won't be able to get it in this playthrough. The way to get all their gear, let's try this again, by the way, is to specifically not ever talk to Kingseeker Frampt. If you talk to Kingseeker Frampt, you will not be able to get their stuff. You think, oh man, this guy's guarding something good. Nah, just a Titanite chunk. this guy again. Just want chunks. Thank you, sir. I love some slabs too, by the way. If we're asking for things, you know. You actually come around here. Get this large soul of a proud knight. There's a couple of dark wraiths, a couple of ghosts, and a sludge man in there, so. Ooh, we missed. Yeah. Yeah, so sludge guys actually create these little exploding skeleton skulls. Ow. Get away from me. Nasty, nasty, nasty. One more dark wraith hiding back here. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you one thing right here. There is a summon sign over here. And it's Witch Beatrice again. The boss fight is actually through this fog gate. We're going to save that for the beginning of the next episode, guys. That's going to do it for right now. That's pretty much all of New Londo Ruins done, though, minus the boss fight. So, as always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and hit that subscribe button for me, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.